In May 9th of 2016, Paradox Interactive released a game called Stellaris. Their first, as far as I know, their first space grand strategy game, and it was simply amazing-ish because at first Stellaris received not so great reviews, but today is year 2020, 4 years from the release. At the moment of the recording, I'm recording it 9th of May, we are celebrating 4-year anniversary of Stellaris, and the question, is it still worth it to play Stellaris in year 2020? Okay, let's give you the answer like right away. I'm gonna give you the answer right away, and I think I'm biased with this because I'm playing Stellaris for a really long time, from the early 2016, not from the early 2016. I started playing it when it was released, almost when it was released, and I've been playing it since to this day. And to be fair, it's completely different game today. And as an answer to the question right away, yes, Stellaris is absolutely worth it to play in the year 2020 if you love space games, if you like strategy games, and especially if you love space strategy games. Stellaris is probably the best space strategy game to the date, and let me explain why. Okay, let's start with the graphics. Usually graphics is the first thing that ages with a game, and it does not look that well. Thankfully, 2016 has not been that long ago, and the graphics technology did not change a lot since then. But Stellaris was not sitting on one place. It has been updating constantly to the date. It has been updated with a free update, and it has been constantly changing. And graphics, to be fair, did not change a lot, but if you will use the mods, the game looks simply stunning at places. You will not be disappointed with how game looks. No matter what type of computer we are playing, Stellaris will look practically great on every single setup, and it runs pretty smoothly as well. So if you think that graphically game might be very bad, no, you're wrong, because Stellaris just looks gorgeous. Okay, graphics is a good thing. It's eye candy. You love to look at it, but what about the gameplay itself? How it plays? Well, it's safe to say that Stellaris, it has an amazing gameplay. Let me explain what do I mean by that. Stellaris has been changing constantly, and its gameplay has been evolving for the 4 years, like constantly. If you boot up the version 1.0 of Stellaris and the version 2.6, which is the latest version to the date, 2.7 will be released in a few days. It's completely different game. You might think that this is the Stellaris 1 and Stellaris 2. It's such a different experience. It's completely different game, far more expanded in the later versions, and still pretty good in the first version. What I like about Stellaris is that it is at the same time simple and complex. What do I mean by that? If you start playing the game and you don't go through each and every system in the game, you will still be able to play game to its fullest without understanding everything. Yes, some things will go up, some things will go down. You might lose a lot of because you don't understand a lot of things, but still your gameplay will not suffer. You will still find a way to solve the problems with the rudimentary knowledge of the gameplay. It's that good. But if you will go deep into the complex system and start understanding every single thing in the works in this gameplay, then the gameplay suddenly becomes completely different thing. All the micromanagement, all the macro management, all the trade routes, military, economy, all the societies, etc., it changes your gameplay so much. And what's most important, you are learning all of this as you play, and as you evolve with the game, as you start to learn more and more and more, the gameplay opens up to you as well, which is extremely good, because in the previous games of the Paradox Interactive, like Europa Universalis and Crusader Kings and other games, the gameplay is pretty complex and it's very difficult to understand for the beginner. Here, it is extremely simple to understand for the beginner and extremely satisfied for advanced player as well. But if you don't like what you are seeing there, well, you can always change the games with the mods, and we're gonna talk about the mods a bit later. Okay, constant updates. We got to the constant updates. The game is constantly updating, and this is probably the biggest thing of the Stellaris. It has been updating constantly. We're getting to the version 2.7, and each and every iteration changed and updated some things, making game fuller and fuller and fuller. It does not make game bigger, and like it does not increase the scope of the game, but it makes things deeper. It goes deeper and deeper and deeper and deeper, player and you will try understanding this game. It's a bit difficult at first, but then it's insanely good. It's a very, very good that all these updates change this gameplay very well without changing the core of the game itself, which is extremely satisfying thing. Okay, let's now talk about one of the most powerful things in this game, and it's modding community. Oh boy, this game is being like completely different beast when you're playing this game with the mods. Trust me, when you play this game with the mods, it will be pretty difficult for you to revert to the vanilla version. Oh boy, it's such a bliss to play this game. Oh, that's so good to play the game with the mods. It expands every single aspect of the game. Gameplay, no problem. Sound design, no problem. Graphics, no problem. It extends it so much. Wanna play as a UNSC from the Halo universe? We got you. Wanna play the Sith Empire from the Star Wars? We got you. Wanna play as Flood from the Halo universe? No problem. We got you. Everything is in there. And because Modding Society works constantly and passionately, because there is a very passionate player base, every single thing that you might not like in the gameplays probably is fixed with one or two different mods, which is extremely satisfying thing for the games, especially for this new game. It's not an old, it's pretty new game. 4 years is not a big time for that moddable game. Okay, now let's talk about elephant in the room for every single Paradox game in existence, and it is the DLC. Boy, oh boy, DLCs are what Paradox is making money from, because on the previous games there are dozens and dozens of the DLCs for the games, and some of them change some things in a major way, other things change the games in a minor way, one things just add 1 or 2 units, etc. But here situation is kind of same but a bit different. You see, Stellaris is being updated usually with the DLC, and they are pretty deep core part of the gameplay. Yes, you can play the game without DLC, but the DLCs change games so much, like Utopia DLC or Apocalypse DLC or even Federation DLC, which is the latest DLC. It changed the gameplay so much and enhances gameplay so much that I cannot suggest you to play the game without the DLC, at least with a few major ones, which is like Utopia, Apocalypse, or you can go with the Federation, depending on what you like. You can go with the list of the DLC on the Steam page and choose whatever DLC suits you the best. Just don't buy the DLCs that has only portraits in it. They're completely useless. Because of this, the price of the game gouges pretty high, but not as high if you're buying those DLC on sales. Even if you buy like the Stellaris core with all the DLC while they are on sale, you will still not get to the $60, which is very good thing. Plus, you can buy DLCs as you want. Just buy core ones, which changes gameplay significantly, and then add up as you wish. Because the gameplay is practically infinitely replayable, because there's such a variety in the gameplay depending on what type of race you play and what type of gameplay you do. Just DLCs change things like a lot, and you can just play with one DLC, then start again with a different DLC, then start again with a different DLC, and you still will feel that you're playing the same game that is a bit different, and this fulfillment just makes it worth to buy a few DLCs for the Stellaris. Just if you want to choose it, if you're interested in what DLCs are worth to buy, I highly suggest you to check the channel named Acepack. He's all about the Stellaris, and just he has a lot of videos about the DLCs, DLC tiers, etc. Check him out. He will help you to choose which DLC to buy. Overall, Stellaris is an amazing game if you love space games, and especially space strategy games. It will give you hours and hours and hours of fun. And don't forget, it has an amazing multiplayer as well, which is a separate game in itself when you play this game with your friends. So I highly suggest you to buy this game and give it a chance. It can be frustrating because if you are not used to any Paradox games, despite this probably being one of the simplest of the Paradox grand strategy games, it might be a bit difficult to understand at first, but just let your imagination play rampant. Just go full on imagination in this your space empire roleplay, and boy, you're gonna have the time of your life with this game. Well, this will be it for today. Thank you for being here with me. Like the video if you liked it, subscribe if you want more videos like this one. Let me know if you like these types of videos in the comments down below, and if you want more like is it worth to play or something like that types of videos on this channel. Well, this will be it, and I'm gonna see you in the next one. See ya.